After nearly a decade of a troubled development, Final Fantasy XV, once known as Versus 13, finally released on November 29, 2016 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. While few will say that it's the best entry in the series or argue that it isn't without its flaws, the game was overall favorably received by both critics and fans. Earlier this year, back in August 2017, Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy XV would also be coming to the PC. Those with powerful enough hardware will be able to enjoy the game at 60 frames per second, 4K resolution, and with all of the graphical bells and whistles. But perhaps most exciting of all is the fact that Final Fantasy XV's PC port will have mod support. That's right, players will be able to dive into the game's innards and tweak the graphics, enhance gameplay, and add new content. Now, it's hard to say at this point if modding flexibility in Final Fantasy XV will be at the level of Bethesda's Creation Kit, but Final Fantasy XV director Hajime Tabata did provide the following statement. I think a lot of people do want the mods as free as possible and with as few limitations from our side as possible. So we are going to look into making that kind of system we have for the mods. So we'll have to figure out all the technical terms around that. So it looks like they're really trying to open up this feature to the community and let them run with it, which is awesome. Now, anytime you hand this much power to the community, there's always certain risks involved. For Square Enix, their biggest concern is adult, nude, or explicit mods. There was apparently a lot of discussion about this behind the scenes before Square Enix gave the okay for mod support. After much deliberation, in the end, Hajime Tabata and team decided that, quote, what's stronger in my mind is the fact that I don't want to limit people too much. This is part of the culture of gaming these days. These people, it's a thing they've bought. It's their game now. I don't think adult mods are a good thing, but we're going to leave it to the moral sense of all the players out there. I basically want, as a principle, to give as much freedom and as little limitations on it as possible. These are definitely principles that I appreciate. More recently, though, during PAX West, Tabata warned that adult mods could have an adverse effect on mod support for future Square Enix titles. He urged creators to be as controlled as possible and implied that if things are taken too far, decisions as to whether or not to allow modding of the series might be made differently in the future. It's important to keep in mind that it's not just the game director who makes these decisions. They have to get approval from higher-ups like the Square Enix CEO. So if these higher-ups start to perceive these mods as having more of a negative effect on the image of the series and the company as a whole, they might pull the plug. Basically, if adult mods are taken too far, this may be the last time mod support may be implemented in Final Fantasy. Welp, rest in peace as Final Fantasy modding. It's been nice knowing ya. Might as well enjoy it while we have the chance because that shit's gonna be gone. I'm sorry, but in what universe does Hajime Tabata think that he can give us a character like this and then give people the power to mod and then not expect explicit nude adult mods? He shouldn't be concerned about adult mods. He should acknowledge as a scientific law that adult mods are going to happen whether he likes it or not. This is like some Murphy's Law type of shit, okay? He's going to leave it up to the moral sense of the players? He's asking us to be as controlled as possible? Oh, Tabata, you give us way too much credit. Prepare to be thoroughly disappointed. To be fair, with some of these character designs, I feel like Hajime Tabata and team were kind of asking for it. Now, at the very least, the Steam Workshop, which Final Fantasy XV will be making use of, does have restrictions when it comes to explicit content. But you can bet your ass that open modding sources like the Nexus will come up with their own tools to allow people to implement mods without restrictions. It is what it is. It's the way these things go. It's the way the cookie crumbles. It's just something that Square Enix, Hajime Tabata, and team are going to have to accept. And if you ask me, it's really not that big of a deal. I think in the long run, if they make modding extensive and accessible to creators, there is a lot of potential payoff beyond just some exposed breasts. Mods and all of the substantial enhancements they can bring is a big draw of Bethesda games, and it's what keeps them relevant today, even after all these years. So if Final Fantasy XV nails mods and gets backed by a vibrant modding community, I think we can expect some really great things. And Cindy's boobies will just be the cherry on top. With that, I would like to end this bizarre news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below if you think Hajime Tabata and Square Enix are making too big a deal out of this, or if their concerns are warranted. Also, if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon to help our community remain independent from third-party sponsorship and corporate interference. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!